So a couple of years ago, I did a video of my favorite movies from 2003 to 2010, and followed that up a few months ago back in February with 2011 to 2017. And when I did that original video, I also did the worst movies of 2003 to 2010, and now I'm finally getting to part 2 of that, since part 3 of both these videos will be coming in a few months, because I'm getting the last one done in February. So I'm finally getting to this one in October. Yes, I know this one is extremely late, but that can't be helped. So, this one is going to be covering the worst movies of 2011 to 2017, and I'm going to be honest, this one is going to be way more painful than the 2003 to 2010 video, because these movies are way worse, so I probably won't be talking about them as long. These will probably just be quick, almost like a ranking video, but it's not at the same time. You'll get what I mean when I get to it. So, yep, here are the worst movies from 2011 to 2017. So 2011's a little different than the other ones because it was a three-way tie between Jack and Jill, Bucky Larson, Born to be a Star, and Sucker Punch. Now, if I had to pick a worst out of these, it would probably be Bucky Larson, and the least worst, I should say, would probably be Sucker Punch, because as bad as the movie is, at least it has some decent acting and some effort in the visuals. No effort went into Jack and Jill or Bucky Larson. They're two of the worst comedies ever made. I'm sure most of you have heard of Jack and Jill, and a lot of you may have even seen it, so you know why it's bad. Don't watch Bucky Larson. I don't even want to talk about it. It's so awful. The plot is terrible. The acting is atrocious. And it is just one of the most insufferable movies I've ever had to sit through.
I'd like sweet pickle, dill pickle, warm pickle, chill pickle, please.
Oh, my favorite.
I could use some fish toast bismol right now.
The Oogie Loves in the...
If I didn't have neighbors, I'd scream. It has been shown to me since I started this channel that movies aimed at children, very young children, can still be something really good. The Paw Patrol movie from a couple of years ago comes to mind, and yes, I'll be seeing the second one soon. This, on the other hand, is not only one of the worst kids movies I've ever seen, it's probably this would probably rank among the worst movies I've ever seen. The acting across the board is terrible, the story is all kinds of dumb, the celebrity cameos are just weird, and the songs, as well as the Oogie Love singing, is needles in my ballsack. The fact that there are critics and audiences, including a critic who gave this an A-, that gave this a positive review is a stain in the pants of God.
Do you know where we are?
No, sir.
This is Earth.
You just had to know an M. Night Shyamalan movie was going to be on this list, but surprisingly enough, it's the only one. I could have easily gone with movie 43 in this slot, but one, I think that would have been a little too predictable because everybody knows movie 43 is a horrendous trash fire. But two, this movie honestly pisses me off a lot more. I knew what I was getting into with movie 43. I knew it was going to be awful. This movie had a lot of potential and squandered it right out the gates. Horrible performances from both Smiths. The story is convoluted as all hell and has plot holes you can drive a truck through. The action sequences aren't very enticing. And you know a movie's going to be bad when one of your main characters' names is Cypher Rage.
I need you to know how much I love you, no matter what happens.
Dad?
Looks like the end of the world.
One of these days the sky's gonna break and everything will lose.
Faith-based movies have gotten a lot more effort put into them in the past years. Hell, just look at Nefarious and Sound of Freedom of this year. It tells you all you need to know. But that didn't used to be the case, and movies like this almost feel like a mockery of Christianity. I have absolutely no idea why Nicolas Cage is in this movie, because he's really not giving a shit throughout the majority of the film. The way they do the Rapture just doesn't make a ton of sense, and it makes the apparently almighty and loving God look like a prick by leaving traumatized family members, crashing planes, and pretty much any other human-made catastrophe you can think of because of the Rapture. I know the idea is that the people left behind are supposed to suffer, I guess, but it really, again, just makes him come across as a prick, and that's not exactly the best way to make a Christian film. Apparently, the authors of the original book series that this is based on liked the movie, and I don't get it.
Everyone has a secret identity. Which one's the real you?
Yeah, I know. This might be the first video that actually says a movie other than 50 Shades of Grey or Fantastic Four was the worst movie of 2015. Honestly, I wouldn't even say Fantastic Four was top 5 worst, top 10 maybe, but it wasn't bad enough to get top 5. And 50 Shades of Grey at least has one thing this movie does not. And that is a plot. It didn't have a good plot, but it at least had something resembling a plot. This does not. Not to mention, this slaps fans of the source material in the face, and it also slaps newcomers in the face, and it's just all around just a nothing movie. There's hardly anything actually adapted from the source material. Even movies that change a lot from the source material at least had the same characters and the same elements to it. This one doesn't even have the main villains from the TV show, and instead decides to gender swap another one. Because of course they did. Hell, they were doing it before it was even cool. Cool, as far as the entertainment industry goes. And again, there's no plot to this, the acting is not very good, and the characters are mostly unlikable. Don't watch this. Even I think it was the voice actors of the original Jim hated this, so don't. Don't touch this with a 10-foot pole. Don't touch it with a 30-foot pole. This movie is on food fight levels of bad animated movies. This one might be the worst animated movie I have ever watched. The voice acting is not very good, even out of talented actors. The animation is atrocious. It looks like it belongs on Nickelodeon in like 2003, certainly not in theaters in 2016. The plot itself of building condos in the Arctic is, about as stupid as it sounds, let me just put it that way. And the majority of this is just watching a CGI bear dance around for 90 minutes just to fill up the runtime. Rob Schneider deserves better than this.
Oh, never eating another piece of candy ever again.
High five, don't do it. Don't you do it, it's already been in there once.
Of course it's the Emoji Movie. What the hell else would it be? This is one of the most infamous movies that have come out in the past decade, up there with movies like Ghostbusters 2016 and The Last Jedi. Is this worse than those two? I'd honestly say so. The characters are not very likable, and they're very uninteresting. The visuals are kind of creative at times, but most of the time it's just showing off, oh look at this phone app, look at this phone video game. The voice acting isn't very funny, and the presence of James Corden just taints the reputation of this movie all on its own. The plot isn't very enticing. It's just, it's just essentially a fetch quest, almost. And again, just the simple fact of a movie based around emojis is the fact that this is just a cash grab. That's all this movie was. And you know what the even sadder thing is? Is that it grabbed plenty of cash. It didn't overperform, but it made over $150 million at the box office. That is a disgrace to humanity. Well, there you have it. The worst movies from 2011 to 2017, and probably in a few months, assuming I don't put it off again, we will be going through 2018 to 2023, and I guess as a bonus in that one, we'll predict what the worst one of 2024 is. Although that won't be a difficult decision. So, that's all I've got for this one, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.